Hello and welcome. We are coming to you live from the ESL CM Storm Arena here in Cologne, Germany, and we have got a fantastic show with some fantastic games coming up to highlight to you today. So, first of all, for our first title, we're going to be talking about Planetside 2. This is a massive game with mass potential. We're showing it here on the show floor, so make sure if you're here, get out, check it out, because it's absolutely a wonderful, wonderful chance to play this game. But in order to take this game to the next level right now, we're going to invite somebody, my very good friend, who I'm happy to have here. His name is Matt Higby. He's come all the way from Sony. Matt, would you join me, please? Round of applause for Matt, please, everybody.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
So, Matt, you've come here today to talk about Planetside 2.
That's right. Excited to be here, man. Gamescom is insane. I cannot believe how crazy it is here.
It's crazy busy today.
It is insanity.
You had a hard time even getting to us through all the halls, right?
It took me 30 minutes to walk here from like one hall over.
One hall over, 30-minute walk. That's pretty insane. So, Matt, first of all, I know that you've got some goodies and swag for all the people that are sitting here in the audience, so that's great. But can we have a look at the one that you're wearing? Because I believe it's actually...
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Huh?
His name on the back. I don't get a name on the back of my shirt.
Yep.
I've done something wrong here.
I don't know, man. NC for life. See? Right there.
Very cool. So we're going to learn actually about what this shirt means and why Matt's wearing it and what it means about the game as well. So I say, without much further ado, why don't we start with a kick-ass trailer? And I can say kick-ass because this is a 16 plus, so we're fine.
Let's check it out.
Let's do this.
For war will not determine who's right, only who's left.
Guys, believe it!
Wow.
Very cool.
Wow. Guys, a round of applause. That was a pretty impressive trailer. I mean, there was a lot going on there.
Very cool. Very cool.
So Matt, I mean, we're going to go in and actually have a look at some of the things that were happening in the trailer, some of the different classes we saw.
Yep.
But it looked huge. I mean, it looked crazy.
It's a crazy big game. It's a very large game.
Are you guys ready to learn a little bit more about Planetside 2? Win some swag, get some prizes? I know you are, good sir. All right, let's roll on and have a quick peek at this right now.
Let's take a look. So, Planetside 2 is a massively multiplayer shooter. And it's really cool being able to be here with the ESL and Intel and talk to a competitive gaming scene about it, because Planetside 2 we designed to be a competitive, no compromises first-person shooter experience. So, the first thing we're going to talk about here is the 3 different empires in the game. There's 3 different empires. This is the Terran Republic. They're a very militaristic empire. They're the government empire, and they really have the most disciplined military fighting force. The new conglomerates, my empire, they're sort of the rebel faction.
This is the shirt you're wearing as well.
Yeah, it's my shirt. I got the shoes, too. So you got to collect the whole wardrobe. They've got the, they have basically repurposed industrial equipment, stuff like that, but they do whatever it takes to get the job done. They don't have the greatest equipment, but, you know, they make it through. And then the Vanu Sovereignty is our 3rd faction. These guys use a lot of repurposed alien technology that they found on this planet that they've used to make hover tanks and laser weapons, all sorts of really kind of sci-fi inspired and alien inspired technology. So, Planetside 2 is a massively multiplayer shooter.
It looked pretty crazy. There was a lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2,000 players on one continent. These
Did
classes...
Did you say 2,000 players?
2,000, yeah. 2,000 players can directly compete in these massive battles, and we'll show some footage of that later. So there's 6 different infantry classes, and this is our infiltrator class. He's sort of your sniper, stealther character. Then we have our light assault. He uses his jump jets to be able to sort of like get up on cliffs and walls and places where...
Flying is always good.
That's right, yeah. So he can really sow discord behind enemy lines and be kind of a battle disruptor. Heavy assault is sort of our primary foot soldier. He uses rocket launchers to disable tanks. He also has access to really heavy anti-infantry weapons.
Big badass.
Basically. Yeah, no, he's the main shock trooper of the group. And we have our engineers. These guys do kind of what you would expect. They repair vehicles, they place mines, turrets, things like that. They're one of our support classes. So all of these guys all have to work together and really utilize a lot of teamwork to be able to...
team play is really key in this.
Yes, team play is absolutely must-have. And then we have our combat medic, obviously another support class. He's in charge of healing, reviving, but he's also a really good combat fighter, too. He's not just like a dude who has to sit back and only heal. He has access to great weapons and can definitely be a force on the combat field.
Whoa, I like the look of this guy.
Yeah, this is our Max. The Max units are these giant mechanized exoskeletons that can field anti-infantry, anti-vehicle, anti-air weapons. So really they have access to a huge amount of versatility. And here we can see some of our characters with different customizations.
Okay, so the first thing that I see here is that everybody looks entirely different. So is this something that I could use for my clan, that we could have our own identity?
Exactly, yeah. You have access to a lot of different customizations to be able to look however you want, from ridiculous to practical.
Camouflage in the forest or ridiculous...
Exactly. I want a zebra skin when I'm going around, you know? You can do that. So we have lots of vehicles in the game too, and we use combined arms, so vehicles and infantry are always there. Sometimes infantry is really good in small bases and stuff, but in big open world you need vehicles to get around. So here's 2 of our transport vehicles, a single man one and one that takes 12 people, which is an entire squad.
12 people moving together, nice.
Yep. And each one of our empires has access to a completely unique main battle tank too. So we've got these, this is our Mag Rider tank. It hovers, it can strafe. The one we were just looking at was the Terran Republic one with 2 cannons. And then we have the Vanguard tank, which is the most heavily armored, has the most powerful cannon, but it's kind of slow and lumbering.
So kind of ups and downs to whichever choice you make.
Exactly, right. And each one of the empires also has access to a unique aircraft. So these kind of follow the same themes. The TR one is really fast and agile. The Vanu Sovereignty one can kind of hover and float, move laterally in weird ways. And the Reaver, which is the NC one, is slow but really strong. You know, it's just kind of a kick-ass air tank.
Very cool.
And then we got some other aircraft too. These are sort of support aircraft. The one in the front is a Liberator bomber. This guy's a 3-man aircraft that has a big cannon on the bottom, so it's sort of like a C-130. And then the one in the back was our Galaxy transport. And again, that thing can take 12 people, which is a squad.
Bring your friends. You're going to need your friends.
Exactly, yeah. You got to get all your buddies on. And here we can see some of our vehicles that are customized in the world, so you can see a little bit of the various customizations that are available. And speaking of customizations,
what a great segue.
What a
We've
great
just come
segue.
right into customization.
Genius.
We didn't
put this
plan it.
together. It was really intelligently made. All right, we have limitless customization, and not just visually either. We have lots of different ability for you to customize gameplay within each one of these classes. So you can go into the cert tree, you can unlock all these different certifications for each one of the weapons that you're getting to really personalize and customize your gameplay experience. So as we see here, he's going through a couple different classes, looking at some of these different weapons. All of this stuff really is your ability to just figure out what your role that you want to play within the battlefield is.
And really choose your play type if you want to be a certain style of player.
Exactly, yeah, you can spend a lot of time. So we were talking about how large the game is, and we do have unprecedented team play. This game allows hundreds of players to work together to capture bases and handle objectives. And to kind of organize that, we have a couple different structures that players can find themselves in. Here we're showing a squad. Right here we're showing 10 people, but our squads actually have 12 people in them right now. This is our main battle group. So you group up with your friends, you're in your squad, and you're going to go attack stuff. You're going to want your squad to have a couple different classes so you can all support each other.
I have to say that I do like the look of those guys.
The Zebra Stripes.
There's something there.
Yeah, man, they're divisive. Some people love them, some people hate them, but you know what? It's recognizable. And then we have another thing called our outfits. Outfits are the equivalent of a guild in a normal MMORPG. So you can set permissions, you obviously have voice chat built right into the game to be able to communicate with everybody. So all that stuff is just right there, and it's extremely robust, and it just helps you be able to navigate and play this massive shooter experience. Another thing we are doing that's really, really exciting to me is beyond the game, outside the game, we're doing a lot of stuff on the web and in apps to be able to make the Planetside experience extend out. So we have a website that if you've played Battlefield, you're familiar with Battlelog and Battlefield 3, we have something that's similar to that, but we've kind of taken it a step further. Because our game's persistent and the world is always active, you can actually go on here and see at any given time, in real time, bases getting captured, troops that are moving around, and you can know, hey, I really want to log in. It seems like this base is under contention. I'm going to pop in and play that with my friends right now.
So I could be sitting somewhere else and just find out that I need to be getting into the game now via my iPhone or something.
Exactly, right. We also have this mobile uplink app. This thing is awesome. You can get this for Android and iOS, and it lets you do all the sorts of stuff that you can do on the website. Like in real time, you can look up different stats for your friends, you can look up different weapons, see all kinds of cool stuff like your kill boards and things. But the coolest thing is all the interconnectivity to the game itself. So you can go right here on the map, you can zoom in, you can see where your outfit's fighting. If something's under contention that you want to go play on, you can just jump right in and go do it.
So basically when I'm not in the game, it's going to be telling me what's going on in the game so I can jump in and be playing and not miss out on anything.
Or we also have voice chat built right into it. So if you can't get there right now, you can go onto your outfit's voice chat and say, hey guys, I need you to log in and go defend this spot. I'll be on in an hour.
So here we're seeing some of the flight simulation that goes on in the game. This looks pretty intense.
Right, so we're fighting right now over one particular base, and this base takes up about 1 square kilometer on our 64 square kilometer map.
64,
yep.
Wow.
Completely non-instanced, you can move freely from one location to another location. You could be fighting in one spot, dog fighting, and find yourself fighting over a completely different base on another side of the map a little bit later.
When I'm going from one square kilometer to another, am I in loading times? Am I a screen? Or
it goes straight through. There's no loading screens, there's no instancing. Wow. So all these 2,000 players are all part of the same living, breathing, dynamic battlefield. So we're showing a bunch of air gameplay right here, just to give you a taste of what can kind of happen with a bunch of air vehicles flying in the air. These air vehicles can be outfitted in a lot of different ways too. So like this guy has some cool air-to-ground rockets, but if he wanted to and he was interested in air superiority, he could certify air-to-air missiles and just fly around blowing up other aircraft. There's lots of different roles for each one of these vehicles. And here we're seeing from the gunner slot of that Liberator bomber that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So you can really see that thing can just wreak havoc on tank
together,
lines.
I'm flying, you're taking the guns out, etc., etc.
Right, yep,
Nice.
Exactly. So all of our vehicles, too, use NVIDIA's physics system. So these all use real-time physics. They can do all the things you would expect them to do in real life. They bump into each other, take damage, fall down hills, you can spin them around. There's really no limitation to what you can do in this game beyond what you would expect to be able to do in reality.
Brilliant. Really looks very, very tight.
Yeah, so we're seeing the cockpit view here from this Reaver, and it looks like he's doing some strafing runs on one of those massive Galaxy ships. Oh, it didn't work out.
And so now we're going into the night transition. So day and night will actually play a role that I could say I'm going to attack under the cover of darkness, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a persistent game, the time of day actually changes as you're playing. Sometimes you'll be fighting in a base and it becomes nighttime, and then, you know, you have to go get some night vision equipment, get headlights for your vehicles, things like that. All that stuff
Planning
really plays
ahead,
an important
basically.
role.
Make sure that you're prepared for what you're about to do.
That's right. And sometimes if the sun is in the middle of the sky, you could be attacking from the sunlight and the defenders down there aren't going to be able to see you. So you really get to use all these dynamic features to, you know, take advantage of all the cool real-world stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here we're seeing another Liberator gun. All of these weapons and of all the vehicles are all totally dynamic, so they can be swapped out by the guy who's summoning the vehicle. And there's just hundreds of weapons in the game for vehicles and infantry that can all be really deeply customized and personalized to fit your particular playstyle.
So now we're seeing I'm guessing some infantry combat going on right now.
Yeah, there's some infantry combat happening in one of our, this is actually recorded from a couple weeks ago on our beta server. So we can see that we have some new conglomerate soldiers are pushing forward and trying to get to this bridge that's kind of being defended by some Terran Republic soldiers. So this particular guy is playing heavy assault, which means he has access to this big rocket launcher, and he's kind of spamming rockets trying to take out these tanks. So we can see some team play taking part there while that medic revived the Max that was on the ground.
This guy's doing a good job.
Yeah, so our maps are actually really handcrafted too. We spend a lot of time making sure that no matter where you go on this enormous 64 square kilometer map, it felt like it was designed and optimized for combat. It wasn't just like some height field that got generated that we threw a couple bases on and said, okay, go, that's the map. We've really spent a whole lot of time making sure these all work.
From the ground up for the kind of team play that you're going to want to have, using advantages, disadvantages, whatever you have.
And areas are definitely designed to favor certain types of gameplay too. If you're in a really deep canyon area, it's not going to support ground vehicles as well because infantry can kind of get up on the cliffs and fire rockets down at you. But if you're in a really open, like desert area, then suddenly ground vehicles are extremely powerful and they're able to see long distances. So we've really thought a lot about that in the way that we design our world. We want to make sure that as you're going through different places, it feels like different strategies and tactics are viable and it's not always just the same exact thing. So now he's sniping. All right, attempting to snipe.
When I'm playing with my friends in this game and we're in this massive universe playing together in this huge kind of field, the limits of what we can do or how we choose to play are absolutely there's nothing like it, I'm imagining.
There really isn't. It's one of those things that's sort of hard to believe until you get in and experience it for yourself. There's so much depth to a game where team play is as huge as it is and as vital as it is, and the customization is as deep as it is. The amount of permutations of different kinds of gameplay that can happen, different situations you can find yourself in, it's really, really exciting and really just an epic experience.
And here we've got somebody, what is this? Is this a smaller base that he's attacking now, or?
We should have gotten one of the ESL Pro snipers to come in here and film this so it actually seemed like it was a little bit more of a instead of whoever we had over there filming this.
He's doing a pretty good job.
Wasn't me. If it was me, it probably would have been worse.
Oh, and here comes this Max suit that you were talking about earlier.
See, we saw an enemy stealther there, just tried to sneak up and get a knife kill or something. It didn't work out too well for him.
I just found myself moving out of the way of that tank as it came towards me. That's a good sign. Seems like it has some really immersive gameplay as well. I feel like the terrain and the way they've set things up feels quite close, and there's a good sticky feel to it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, all of this gameplay, again, I mean, we approached this as a game where we didn't want to make any compromises. A lot of times you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, well, we want 2,000 players. What are we going to give up in order to do that? And we refused to give up anything. We wanted to have this experience be as legitimate of an FPS experience as you could get in any of today's AAA FPS games. And then we just wanted to make it that much bigger, have that much more team play, that many more options, and really be a game that you could play for years and years and years.
I think for sure you've really accomplished pushing the boat out because this looks phenomenal, and the scope of it seems like just a massive undertaking. I'm glad that you've done it.
Yep, and a lot of this footage was filmed during one of our early beta test sessions too. So the amount of players that are out on the screen right now is actually fairly low compared to what you see in a full battle. And I think a little bit later we actually have another video that's exclusive for Gamescom that we're going to show that really shows some like massive
video.
scale.
We always like exclusive.
But yeah, so we can see here, I think now he's switched over to Light Assault, which is the jump jet class. And these guys are really all about trying to get in close and try to get quick damage using things like shotguns, carbine rifles, and things like that. He's not as effective from long range as a sniper would be, but because he's got that jetpack, he can really get in close and close distances really fast. So this base that he's fighting over here, it actually has multiple different capture points that can all be held, and they have things like spawn points, vehicle spawners, etc. So you get this just humongous battle that happens to capture each one of these big bases, which are in turn just capture points.
This entire structure in the background here.
This entire structure is one base, yeah. And this base on this particular map is one of 80 different unique capture points on this one map.
On this 1 square kilometer map within this...
On the 64 square kilometer map. Yeah. So as you're driving around, you're going from base to base, sometimes going to different outposts and stuff. These guys are fighting outside of an outpost, and they're moving towards that base that we just saw them going underneath. You can see it off in the distance there.
On the horizon back there. Nice.
So now we're seeing some ground vehicle gameplay, and the cameraman is actually in the secondary turret of this Prowler tank. Is it a Prowler or
so
no, this is a
somebody
Vanguard.
driving this and somebody manning the turret. The two will obviously need to be working together in order to get the most out of this vehicle.
Exactly, right. And this is also really customizable too, because the guy who got this vehicle from one of the vehicle terminals was able to select what kind of secondary weapon it had, what the primary weapon it had, what type of armor did he want, top armor, front armor, things like that, just totally depending on the situation that he was going into. So he's using a fairly generic cannon that does pretty good damage to infantry and pretty good damage to vehicles. But if he wanted to, he could be getting like a tow missile launcher equivalent or a canister shot, things like that that really just make the vehicle specialized in being able to do a certain type of thing. So now we see him driving a different tank. This is our one-man tank, the Lightning. And it's sort of like a quick strike tank. You can see it has a 6-round burst on this particular, well, it had a 6-round burst on that particular weapon that it was using.
I like to look at this.
Oh, this
Quad
is our...
bike's always good.
Yeah. This is our ATV. It's a really quick transport, but it also, like everything else, you can customize this to have rocket launchers, grenade launchers, all sorts of different stuff. All right, so here we're seeing something a little bit larger as these NC troops are sort of attacking the front lines of this Vonu-held base. So you can see sort of what happens when you start getting 6, 7, 8, 9 tanks all attacking a base at once.
You really start using the power of these things together to make them go out and accomplish what you need. So tactical planning is going to be key.
Right.
It's not just a run and gun, I hope I'm lucky. You're going to need to really think about what you're doing.
That's right. Oh, here we go. So here's our trailer that's exclusive for Gamescom.
New exclusive footage, guys. Check it out.
This definitely shows off some of those larger battles.
One soldier can start a fight. 1,000 soldiers can start a revolution.
And that was absolutely phenomenal. I really like the look of that. I actually found myself, I don't know how many of you, saying wow 3 times during that, so that's maybe a lack of vocabulary on my part, but Matt, that was really some cool looking stuff. I'm pretty excited about the look of that game.
Awesome.
And the best part is, for all the people that are here, unfortunately not you at home, but we love you watching anyway, get over. Right behind this is the Planetside 2 booth, and you can play this game and get involved with it right now, which is great.
And if you are just watching at home, you can go on to planetside2.com right now, and you can sign up for the beta. We're starting up our beta.
This is a man who is ready to plug. Planetside2.com,
That's right.
get over there now, sign up for the beta, get online, because I know Matt and I will be teaming up. So
That's right.
We need teammates, so get on.
You got to get on.
We've got a color scheme already.
That's right.
But for right now, what we're going to do is for you lovely people that are here, for staying around, Matt, you've got some prizes. I guess we're going to start handing these out. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if anybody wants one of these cool jerseys like I got here.
Super. So
let's see.
Who's interested in one of these jerseys?
Does anybody want a jersey?
Who'd like some of this? What I'd say is these lovely young ladies down here
Who's
can probably
NC for
help
life?
us.
I only want to give this to somebody who's actually legit NC for life, though. Who would that be?
Who's already played Planetside 2? Who's already been over there and had a... You good, sir.
You played it?
There you go.
You played it? You love NC? Come show me. Come get it. Come on.
So right over here, I got a t-shirt. You guys gonna
come
come
on
forward?
up, don't be shy.
Please, take.
I got a TR one. Does anybody like TR? Is anybody a fan of Terran Republic?
If I give this to
Why
you,
would
who's
anybody
gonna
be
go
a
over
fan
and
of
play the
Terran
game?
Republic?
You promise?
I don't believe it. Why? You
sure
don't like Terran Republic?
Go
Who? Come on. Who wants the Terran Republic? You got a red wristband, so it works.
If I could get somebody to scream Planetside 2, then this t-shirt's there. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, loudest scream gets it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one was really impressive.
Awesome. Oh, we got one
so
more.
Let's try one more now. And I'm looking for
one
somebody
more,
in the back to
one.
make some noise. Who's going to say
Who's
Planetside
VS?
2 on the count
Who's
of 3?
VS?
1, 2, 3.
VS!
There you go.
All right.
Who would
There's
like
some
an empty
Planetside
box?
water. I want some water.
I'm not allowed to throw these at you because they're water.
Go play.
They're heavy. But
There's a whole
hydration
booth
is very
filled
key.
with computers for you guys to go play. Check it out. Make sure you sign up for the beta.
Planetside2.com. Make sure you get online.
Yep.
Sign up for the beta.
Sign up for the beta.
But for right now, make your way around and play the game. It's epic.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Matt, for having us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing the game.
Thank you.
Are we all done? We're all out? Okay, well, perfect. So then we're going to have a little discussion. We've got a little time here, Matt.
It's great.
Good fill around. You and I can stand here while these people rehydrate and have a good time. A little bit of a moment here. So coming back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Matt. We've been given the gift of time. So Matt, what else, if I was to say to you, what do people need to take away and know about Planetside 2?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of really amazing features in Planetside 2. We have those enormous continents. We have a huge kind of battles.
Continents are the first thing. That you're talking massive maps.
Well, you know, there's a lot of really big selling points, I think, to the game. But if I were to talk about the thing that, to me, as a developer and as a game player, is the quintessential thing that really gets me excited about the game, it's the fact that you can coordinate and cooperate and work together with hundreds of players on your team, you know, to be able to go accomplish these huge goals.
That's pretty unique that you're actually going to get the feeling that you're really creating an army and really have to work as an army.
That's
on
right.
This kind of level, in this kind of genre of shooter, because of course you're looking into a, let's say, a sci-fi setting whereby, you know, you don't have the limitations that you would have when you're tied to, let's say, the real world, you know, with the things that you can do.
Exactly, right, yeah. I mean, it really makes it feel like a war that's happening instead of a skirmish, yeah. And the sci-fi setting really does let us do a lot of cool things, like those hover tanks, you know? It makes it feel so interesting, yeah. It really gives it a cool
suit
feeling.
pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. They're a little strong right now, but they're cool.
So with that in mind, when people are playing this game and they're looking forward to playing this game, as I know I am, one of the things that I really get into when I'm in the game is the idea that the game keeps going. But I know that you're building in all these features so that your gameplay really kind of never ends. You know, whether it's on an Android or an Apple or whatever product you have online, you can be tracking the development. Can you tell us any more about that?
Well, I mean, we want you to be able to connect with the game in whatever ways that you can. A lot of times, you know, I'm sitting at work and I'm, you know, on a break or something.
I don't want to work. I want to be looking at this.
I'm on a break, so I'm looking at websites and stuff. You know, and I want to check out and see what's going on with my hobby. You know, this is my hobby that I'm dedicating a lot of time into. These are my friends that are on there, you know? So I might want to hop onto a website and be able to see what they're up to. Exactly, right, yeah, it's definitely a social experience. And anybody who's ever played an MMO understands how much of a social experience an MMO can be. When you're playing an MMO FPS, it's no different. It's still a social experience. You've got your friends. You have your set group of people that you're playing with. And being able to connect with those guys, not only when you happen to be hopping into the game, being able to to sort of like communicate with them and coordinate with them when you might not have time to jump in and have an extended play session is just awesome. So being able to give people as many ways to connect as possible is a really big goal.
That's absolutely brilliant. So this has been Planetside 2. Make sure you get over to planetside2.com to sign up, get involved. Matt, you've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for bringing the footage, exclusive gameplay, always brought to you by ESL. We'll be right back. Thank you very much.